Asuma's death had not been a murder of any sort. However, Kyrie had constantly cursed her and hoped for her death. And finally, on the 18th year, she had built up the determination to kill her with her own hands. And she actually had gotten herself a blade to do the deed with. That was when the miracle had occurred.
アスムおばさんが亡くなったことが
そんなの全然奇跡じゃない。だって彼女が死ななければ私が殺していた。つまり彼女は必ず死ぬ運命だった。奇跡なのは彼女が死ん、私が自らの手を汚さずに済んだ。この一点に尽きるのよ。
Until now, Kyrie had never shown Jessica. No, she had never even shown Rudolph that glint in the deepest depths of her eyes. It told plainly and clearly that romance and love are not the sweet and fluffy candies that young girls imagine them to be. Jessica was overwhelmed by that pressure and stunned silent. She had to acknowledge it. This was the power of will that can make love be realized. With the force of this willpower, Kitty had supported Rudolph as a wife. And it was the same as George's. He had already developed and proven that he had the willpower to oppose all obstacles to love between different classes. Right now, Jessica could clearly understand. This is the magnitude of George's determination, which had allowed him to coldly carry out his part of the trial. Then, what about her? Yeah, you kind of fucked Jessica. I don't know how she pulls this off, but I'll reserve judgment till the end. Did she really have the resolve to make her love with Canon bear fruit? And then harvest that fruit? I'm curious. What you got?
ごめんなさい。軽いアドバイスのつもりが怖がらせすぎちゃったかしら。
I'd be frightened too. Yeah. Not because of all the other shit, but because now Jessica's looking at her like, hearing all this, like, oh, wow, I picked the wrong person.
この天気のせいね。軽く凄むだけのつもりだったのに、加減を間違えちゃったわ。
Yeah, no, you didn't pressure her a little bit. Kyrie is not stupid. She knew she had to have some kind of inkling of a feeling of Jessica's intentions. There we go. Like she didn't know, like she probably didn't think outright, oh, is Jessica here to kill me? But she probably like could sense Jessica and like from her body language and her face and whatnot. She's probably like, there's something off about Jessica. Maybe if I tell this story of how I almost became a murderer, she will rethink her decision. Kyrie let a relaxed smile rise to her face. The tense atmosphere finally slackened. For Kyrie, I'm sure it's still very tense for Jessica. However, her words have been gouged into Jessica's heart. Speaking of gouging into hearts...
ジェシカちゃんの恋がどんなものかはライバルがいて、お互いが譲れない状況ならばなおのこと。じゃないと、私みたいに女は恋のために人生で一度殺意を持つべきよ。
Wow, what a word of advice there, Kyrie.
世界中で母を名乗るすべての女がそうだったと断言できるわ。だって、そうじゃない女は他の女に食い殺されて生涯を嫉妬と後悔。私はその地獄に、私は幸運よ。たったあの地獄には今も大勢の女たちがいて、後悔する自分を自らの手で処刑しない限りね。
God damn, Kyrie.
なんていうか言葉も
Yeah, I'd be speechless at that point too.
エールを送るつもりだったのに、私ったら脅しすぎたわ。
You were not trying to cheer up, you lying shit.
本当にごめんなさい。恋愛なんてもっともっと気楽でいいのよ。恋愛なんて本当誰でも簡単に気軽に遊べ。そして間違えて大やけどした時
Regrets from love never fade. That was all that Kyrie had been trying to communicate. You communicated a lot more than that. It wasn't like Kyrie to start telling stories from her past, stories you'd normally expect her to avoid, instead of giving a brief answer. However, Kyrie might have thought Jessica deserved to hear. Jessica had timidly brought up the subject of love. Perhaps Kyrie had opened up and told everything because she had seen the fires of Jessica's determination in her eyes.
じゃあ私はそろそろ今の話私たちだけの内緒よ
So I'm guessing like the 6 to die are all gonna be from from the siblings and their significant others. Because like this is all happening while there's this break, this trial anyway. Obviously we don't know what's really happening, but it seems like while they're on this break, you know, it's like, oh, there goes Ava. Oh, there goes Kyrie. And I'm sure whatever servants happen to be in the mansion at the time. Because who knows, you know, who else we're gonna have to, you know, maybe it's gonna be fucking Shannon taking out Kumasawa and, you know, Kanon taking out Genji, which I feel really bad for Kanon in that situation. With a mysterious smile on her face, Kyrie turned around. ちょっと待って。
脅しすぎちゃったかしらでも脅されて知る地獄の方が100そこに落ちた時はもう手遅れなのだから頑張ってねジェシカちゃんややこしそうな恋だけど負けないでね
I'm very interested to see where this goes. Because clearly, yo, Kirei's little speech is gonna, yo, harden Jessica's resolve. But then how does Jessica plan on getting the jump on Kyrie of all people?
たまには人生の先輩らしく振る舞えたかしらん何ジェシカちゃん
Huh? A windstorm grazed Kyrie's head. It had been a hair's breadth away. Why did her eyes go gray? Kyrie untwisted her body slightly. That fist probably would have been buried in her face by now. A bitter smile rose to Jessica's face when she saw that her first strike had failed to land a kill.
言っとくけど卑怯者わけのわからないうちに一撃で痛みさえ理解できないうち
言ったでしょ嫉妬の刺されそうになったことの2度や3わかるのよ不意打ちの直前の雰囲気
Yeah, uh-huh. That's why she's like, oh, what?
気配で分かったとでも
それプラス一番最初
嘘
だってゲストハウスから来てジェシカちゃんの部屋で本を取って帰ろうとしたらあなたがその嘘をつく必要性について最悪のものがこれだったわ
Telling a hasty lie to Kyrie would only put her on guard. Jessica hadn't told that lie, her surprise attack would have succeeded.
やるねさすがキリエおばさんだぜ
Oh yeah, this shit about to go hard.
どうしてあなたは最初から私を殺すつもりだ
誰でもよかった
最悪だわ
キリエおばさんの話のおかげで吹っ切れた感謝するぜ
Kyrie dodged the punch, placed her hand against that fist, and slammed it against the wall. Normally Jessica would have hurt her hand on the wall and rolled around clutching at it in pain. But instead there's just a crater. Yep. However, Jessica's fist had left what looked like a meter-wide crater in the wall. Instead of wearing a look of anguish, Jessica clicked her tongue in irritation at having missed.
すごいわねさすがクラウス兄さんの子だわボクシングでも始めたの
Possible. Jessica's barehanded. She isn't holding any sort of weapon at all.
抵抗しないでおばさん
That's the wrong person to ask not to resist.
頭一発痛みなんか感じさせない
Kyrie tried to look confident, but she couldn't hide her confusion at this unreal destructive force. If that punch had hit her, her head probably would have split open like Jessica had said, killing her without any pain.
行くぜ
If Kyrie's kick off the ground and backward leap had been an instant slower, her gut would have probably been pulverized. Though she had avoided it by a hair, Jessica's left body blow was followed by a terrible burst of wind, like an explosion which blew Kyrie back. Holy shit.
私ねわけがわからない
This Jessica looked like the normal Jessica, but something was different. It wasn't human, and common sense didn't apply to it. This had to be some kind of nightmare. Kyrie slowly stood up, and she looked at Jessica, noticed the several meters between them, and realized just how far that blast of wind had sent her flying.
恨んでくれていいでも私もキリエおばさんの言うように弾けないんだ私も自分の声中途半端には終わらせられねえんだ
あなたは何を言ってるのねえ何を言ってるの何なのよこれ誰か教えて
The scene around Jessica seemed to bend like a heat wave. It seemed to be enshrouding her fists. Holy shit. It seemed as though something like a red magic circle had appeared beneath her feet. It looked just like a western demon standing amidst the flames of hell.
炎熱冬重量冬鉄鋼冬
Oh, God. Fucking flame plus mass plus armor piercing plus ratio, goddamn. Each time Jessica muttered, her fists were surrounded by a pulsating, sinister red light. Those fists, which were actually smoking, that's not healthy, surely represented the iron hammers of hell wielded by demons.
さよならこれは悪夢なのよ
Kyrie dashed away with lightning speed. Yes, right now that was her best option. Fortunately, she was smart enough to realize that pinching her cheek wasn't the best way to wake up from this nightmare.
ロノン
When Jessica muttered once more, a blood-red magical barrier cut across the corridor. Kyrie slammed into it hard and realized that her path of escape had been cut off.
やめてよこんなわけのわかんないの悪夢だわ悪夢なのよ
Then here, let Jessica help you wake up.
早く
Don't worry, Jessica will make you wake up.
ああ悪夢それが望みなら
Yep.
一撃さ動かないで
Wielding her flames, Jessica slowly stepped forward towards her. Each time her foot lifted off the floor, scorching steam hung around her footprint. This was a true nightmare. Kyrie clutched her head in her hand, shaking it over and over again.
悪夢なのねこれは悪夢なのねお願いそうだと言って
ああ悪夢だ
悪夢なのね悪夢なのね
私が認めてやるぜこれが悪
認めるわこれは悪夢だと認める
冷ましてやるぜ一撃でな
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Now go off. Did one of the... Jessica's neck was twisted at an odd angle. Did one of... They said they could choose anyone on the island. Right? So did one of the other lovers step up and say that Jessica's gonna be their target? I don't know if that's possible in their little trial, but that'd be a fucked way to go about it. It's like, oh yeah, pick anyone at all. Jessica. Huh. And she staggered backwards, her eyes white, as though she didn't have a clue what had just happened. In her forehead, a demon stake was buried at an angle. Oh. Is Leviathan looking out for one of her previous, for the woman who managed to best her? Is that what this is about? She's like, nah, I ain't gonna let you take out the one woman who was able to beat my ass. It pulled itself out of her, spun around, then became Leviathan and landed. The hole left behind in Jessica's head spewed blood.
嫉妬のレビアンタンここに
悪夢の中だっていうなら私の悪夢に出てくる友人がいてもいいわ。
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Leviathan and Kyrie, big homies. And now it's a fucking 2-on-1?
嫉妬の地獄の友人危機一髪だったわ。ありがとう。
感謝が早いわこいつ耐えてる
I figured something more had to happen. I was like, there's no way Kyrie is just going down like that. He's not just going, oh no, I'm so screwed. No, poor me. Oh no, you're about to blow my brains out. Like the whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, God, that seems like a really bitch way for Kyrie to go out. Nah, Kyrie was just biding time, waiting for Leviathan to pop out and say, hey, sup, bitch. Even though she had taken a deep gash to the top of the head, Jessica just stood there, convulsing and wide-eyed, and didn't fall over. The blood stopped pouring out of her forehead, and her blank doll-like eyes returned. Then she slowly pressed her own hand against the wound in her forehead. There was a sizzle, as though she had pressed a hot iron against it. It was easy to tell that she was doing this to seal up the wound. Kyrie didn't escape now, there would never be another chance.
あいつを倒せる。
無理ねあいつ大悪魔の誰かと契約してるわ不死身よ
それは愛だから不死身なのさ。
愛よ偉大なれ我らの祝福する者に不死身あれ
この赤い魔法の壁は破れる。
ロノエ様も大悪魔私じゃ無理よ
窓から逃げられる。
窓もとっくにロノエ様の結界で塞がれてるわ
すごいわね。恋のために悪魔の魂を売ったわけかしら。
よくもあんな大悪魔たちと妬ましい装甲付与全属性防御攻撃反応装甲付与
Oh, counterattack. In response to these words, this time her body pulsated with a red light. She had upgraded herself with a defensive power that would prevent Leviathan's attack from working again.
あいつ何を言ってる。
自己増強ねエンチャントっていうの今のあいつは私に二度とつらその上攻撃者にダメージ反射するもう人間じゃないわ
なんださっきと大して変わってない。
そうとも言う
最初の時点から勝ち目がないことに何の変化もないわ。
痛かったでも効かない
Jessica slowly lifted the hand that had been covering her forehead. There was no longer any hole there. The hall was cut off by barriers on both sides, and even the windows were sealed. There was no way out.
そこの部屋の扉封印されてる。
ただの正常だわでもただの部屋よ窓はあるけれどすでに封印されてるわつまり密室私たちの棺桶ってわけ
棺桶上等だわ。鍵を開けて。妬ましいわ。あんたにしか開けられないなんて。
Leviathan's stake flew about at high speeds, ramming itself into the keyhole to the room. The tip of the stake had become a key. As soon as it was unlocked, the door flew open. Both of them fell into the room and quickly locked it. This is probably Krause's study. Its soothing furnishings brought about a sense of nobility that Krause would probably like.
正常なんかしてもあいつは扉を切り絵は自分で自分の棺桶の蓋を閉じただけよ
でもね棺桶の中で私たちにとどめを食らわせたかったら蓋を開けなきゃ。
With dim eyes, Jessica tilted her head upon hearing Kyrie's words.
何を言ってんのその小さな部屋がどうしておばさんを守った
確かにこの部屋は密室だ。私たちの退路はない。でもねあなたがそれが密室というもの。
何を言っているそんなちっぽけな部屋のこんなちっぽけな扉一枚でどうして私から逃れたつもり
Jessica wearily looked down, looked between her own burning fists and the door with a confused expression on her face. And slowly, she sent that pulsating red light to her fists. She repeatedly enchanted her fists to give them the destructive power of the killing blow.
こんな扉粉々にしてやる。
できるならね、やってごらんなさい。
I see. She's gonna put all her power into her fists, and that's gonna allow Leviathan to attack again, something along those lines. Maybe even kill. After sealing the door and calmly saying those words, Kyrie placed a single index finger on the door. Jessica slowly raised her fire-wreathed demon's fists.
さよなら、キリエおばさん。
Jessica's fist slammed to the door in slow motion. It was like the decisive scene in the movie was being acted out. However, this was no act. Jessica's fists were really slowing down, as though they were being sucked in, like a spoon sinks through a jar of honey. That punch was no longer a punch. It was no more than a knock.
嫉妬するのよ、あなた。私は恋に対する甘えと傲慢から、だからあなたが寝た。あなたは私の忠告を受けて恋を成就させて美しい人。ああ、寝た女の一番美しい時間。あなたは私よりも妬ましい。
Yeah, Kitty's whole thing about her power of envy allowing her to, like, that's how she was able to take out Leviathan in episode 3. Because, like, yo, Leviathan's jealousy and envy was nothing compared to Kyry's, and, like, so while for anyone else Leviathan moved at, like, speed, such high speeds no one could see it, it was like so incredibly slow for Kyrie to where she could easily lift up her shotgun and bang. So like everything's all slowed down for Kyrie and whatnot. It's interesting they're bringing that back. I like it. Like I said, like I did not expect this to end with Kyrie just going down easy. And I'm glad like that we're getting some twists and turns here. Jessica tried to slam her fist against the door over and over again. However, as soon as her fist approached it, its speed plummeted. She could barely knock, much less smash the door.
速度不意瞬発不意音速不意
Oh, even the speed of sound ain't gonna help you, girl.
無駄よ、お嬢ちゃん。
砕けろ
With full speed upgrades, Jessica's fist moved at the speed of sound, 1,225 kilometers per hour. However, how long had Jessica been in envy to gain that speed? She started to envy Jordan Shen's relationship about 2 years ago. 2 times 365 equals 730 days, 730 times 24 equals 17,520 hours. However, she wasn't envious all the time. It only happened when Shannon started going on about George. With Shannon's shift on about 3 days of the week, divide 7 times 3. And it wasn't as though she would go on about George all day long. Her fond words for him would only leave a mark on Jessica for about an hour, right? So only 1/24th of each day. 17,520 divided by 7 times 3 divided by 24 equals 312, removing the fractional part. The number of hours that Kyrie had been jealous was 157,680. In other words, this wasn't even 0.2% of the time Kyrie had been jealous. Even 1,225 kilometers per hour, the speed of sound becomes only 2.45 kilometers per hour in the 1/500th world.
わかる？あなた、恋も嫉妬も。
Even if she increased the speed of her fist, in Kyrie's world, Jessica couldn't make it any faster than a walking child. Jessica grounded her teeth, her fist still pressed against the door. If someone could have seen this from both sides of the door, it would have looked as though Kyrie was holding it shut with a single finger.
ねえ、この部屋は密室でしょ。ジェシカちゃんはせいぜいノックをすることはできるけど、中の私たちに
ベアフリーチェの密室って
何それ。
こうなるとこの密室地と密室殺人を行うのは人間には不可能。それが行えるのはジェシカ様が真に魔法を理解されない限り。
もはやジェシカちゃんにやがて時間は進み、私がいつまでも戻らないことにそしてあなたは魔女も魔法も悪夢の時間はもう終わりよ、お嬢ちゃん。
God damn. Yeah, you know Big Brain Kid ain't want to go down like that. You fucking knew it.
おやジェシカがいきなり脱落なんてびっくりだよ。
どうか愛しのカノンのためにも。
さあジェシカ、愛を信じてどうか奇跡を見せておくれ。
訂正するわ。時間の経過を待つ必要さえない。だってここに内線電話があるんだ。もちろん断線なんかしてない。私はこの通り。これが私のチェックメイト。
構築完了。密室殺人。
おや有効ですな。
浸透付与。打撃伝達。間接攻撃力付与。
Oh. Jessica's fist, which was pressed against the door, glowed red, then white hot. I guess the phone receiver like exploded or some shit. Jessica didn't even swing her fist. She just kept it pressed against the door. However, Jessica's murder extended within the closed room. Through the crack in the door, through the keyhole, burst the flames of hell. Jessica couldn't see what was happening inside the room. However, even here, on the other side of the door, she could tell that the flames of hell had swallowed the entire room. Kyrie's smoldering death throes could be heard from across the door. Jessica clearly heard as Kyrie danced a dance of death amidst the hellfire, fell to her knees, and slumped over to the floor. Slowly, Jessica tore her burning fist away from the door.
そんなに嫉妬の地獄が恋しき焼かれてろ。嫉妬の炎で永遠に。
Oh, that's a fucking raw one-liner.
嫉妬から学ぶものもあるだろうぜ。だがそれは誇るもんじゃねえし、やっぱりあんたおごってたぜ、キリエおばさん。
God damn.
お見事な密室殺人ですな。
後片付けを頼むぜ。やがて見つかる遺体が黒焦げじゃ、きれいにしてやってくれるか。
かしこまりました、お嬢様。
Renove transformed to a gold butterfly and entered Karasu's study through the keyhole. Then he had to cross his arms and think about how he should even start cleaning up Kyrie's unrecognizable corpse in this room that ended up as a burning hell.